toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind. I look for peace, but see I don't attain what I need for keeps this silly game we play. Now look at this. Madness, the magnet keeps attracting me. I try to run, but see I'm not that fast. I think first until you finish last.
Good morning. Oh man, those lower thirds, but that's not going to work. Hey, what's up down there, Chris? What's going on? Welcome into the Tailgate, brought to you by CampusToCanton.com. We'll see if we can get that fixed here, as which we get you guys ready for another week of college football season. I've got Colin Decker, I've got Matt Bruning, I've got Chris Moxley, myself, Austin Ace. This is the first time we've had 4 on this season. We're bringing in the squad. Because playoffs have started some places, and we want to help you guys get ready, help you guys win some matchups, help you guys win some money. That's what we're here to do this morning. Gentlemen, good morning. I muted all of you myself, so just get that out of the way here early. Why don't you go in and unmute that, and good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Hola. Good afternoon for me.
Yeah.
Good point, Chris. I always forget that.
Yeah, the sun's going down.
We usually start off the show covering some things that have already happened, and we have had some big games. I don't know that there was anything like fantasy related that we really wanted to cover this morning as we were kind of debating it. So we're just going to kind of skip right to that, guys. We're going to hop. John Lobb knows what's up. Good morning, John. We're just going to hop right into the rankings here and work our way through them. We've got a good crew here. I think this is going to be a fun time. As always, our rankings here. We have removed all the players that have already played. So there were some guys that would have been in the mix here that are not right now. And here's our top 15 quarterbacks for this week. Leading off, Marcel Reed up there. They take on Missouri, Liam Zarka, Alonzo Burnett, Joey Fagano, Josh Hoover, Damon Williams, Micah Alejado, and Nick Minicucci, Brad Jackson, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, Cale Helms, Walker Eget, CJ Carr, and Julian Sayin. And as always, Chris, since you are the mastermind behind all of these, we're just going to toss it to you. Any players that you want to touch on here in this grouping?
I know we've removed players, probably a couple, actually. It always feels not great to have Marcel Reed at the top when the total in the game is like 48 points. I get it. He's been really good, and I think you can pass on Missouri. I think the issue is more about moving the ball on the ground. So I don't think he's a bad play by any means. He's just feels aggressive. Who was bugging? Was it Brett bugging me last week about Mike Alejado? Now I have Mike Alejado in the top 10, and I feel worse about it because he's playing San Diego State. But at some point you did have to remove some of the data points that were dragging him down from early in the season because they really weren't accurate or reflective of the health of the receiver core and the health of Alejado himself. So there's a lot of players on this list that I don't think we saw coming into the season, which I think is interesting. So I was thinking about this when I was doing the rankings anyway this week. Zarka, Vignano, Minicucci, Cale Helms for sure, Walker Eget probably. That's a lot of players who kind of came out of nowhere or were on the waiver wire kind of carrying you at this point. So I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and there's actually already some guys that have played as well that I think were mostly waiver wire guys. I was thinking about this morning as I was just kind of looking at everything that's already happened this week. Like JC French had a good week and he's been pretty solid. Like AJ Swan at Appalachian State. This was a good year if you just, kind of didn't return a lot of QB production. I think you were able to find quite a bit of it. Just sprinkled across college football here. And you guys like Mestamaker and stuff aren't even on here, but there was a lot of that this year. I think maybe more than a normal year, although it didn't seem like an absurd amount, not like to a crazy degree.
It's funny because we said, okay, well, we don't know the guy who we thought it was Dwayne Coleman behind. What was his name? Bryson Daly last year at Army. Turns out it's Cale Helms, who's way better than Dwayne Coleman, by the way. Liam Zarko, we weren't sure who was going to be next man up. We thought it was going to be Josh Johnson. So like these were quarterback battles that were won late in the season, but I don't necessarily think that the Service Academy quarterback being really good is a surprise. Like some of those, like we should have seen coming, even if we didn't know who it was going to be.
Calling your guy Brad Jackson on here again, and I'll just get it out. I'll just get out in front of it later. Your guy Bo Sparks is on here too.
Huh. Weird. Almost like they've been pretty good this year. Not quite to Byron Brown levels from like 2 years ago that many, myself, were predicting before the season started. But no, he's having a really good year, and big reason why I'm having some success in some of the leagues that I am. So maybe overexposure is not a bad thing, Austin, when it's that cheap.
Was Byron Brown, speaking of, probably like the most obvious post hype like bounce back guy of all time this year?
Yes.
I never understood the negativity toward that. And he obviously had another awesome fantasy game this week. Matt, your guy Julian saying, and your guy CJ Carr, back to back there. Look at that, side by side. And your guy Ty Simpson. Look at them all there. Whoa.
I know. I mean, look at me go. Just three guys that I absolutely nailed the analyst on this. Analysis. There we go. That's the word I was actually looking for. It's been a long morning for me.
It's an hour earlier there for Matt, so he's just waiting.
Not only is it an hour earlier, Austin, you may know this. I was up a couple hours ago watching the game, so I've been up already for a couple hours, also working on recruiting rankings for those of you turning into the official. Ty Simpson.
That ending of that game just so perfect, by the way, that Manchester United game.
Yes, it was. I was happy with the way
that Tottenham celebrated like they had actually won something, only to give up a last minute. Just pure comedy.
It was great. I loved it. But anyways, back to American football. Look, I mean, I will say Ty Simpson and Julian Sayin being up here. Bravo to both of them. Neither one of those players I expected to be up here that often. Obviously, the joke here with the Ty Simpson is I was down on Ty Simpson for a lot of this year, and he's been pretty okay, pretty mediocre, but he's made it up here into the top 11. I'm just doing this to watch Chris Moxley's eyes roll to the back.
Squirming a little. He's like,
well, only you guys can see what's going on backstage right now as I said that. No, Simpson has been good, and obviously the matchup versus LSU. Even though LSU does still have a very good secondary, I expect him to be very good today. But yeah, CJ Carr, and again, I think a lot of that just goes down to Mike Denbrock and what he has done as an offensive coordinator. Austin, me and Chris K talked about this recently when Brian Kelly got fired and kind of what Mike Denbrock has done throughout his career. But it's definitely fun to see him up here. I expected probably Simpson more than Julian Sayin just, I mean, with how just he's just been so good. What is it, 80% completion percentage right now? Like he's just been so good. Yeah. Very, very efficient, very well at delivering the ball to and Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith have been good too. Carnell Tate might have been another player I was probably going to end up being wrong on with how good he's been this year. So yeah, it's fun to see those three up here and what they've been doing this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we have the one guy that I think I'm a little the DBs are really banged up, but I've just been a little gun shy on him recently is Josh Hoover. Chris, can you give me a pep talk on Josh Hoover today? That offense just hasn't been as prolific as of late as I had kind of expected based on just the offseason and the first couple weeks of the season.
The game total is pretty high. Like, I think I'm trying to do the implied team total in my head. It's like 30.
I can never do that in my head, like with any sort of.
No, it can't be. It's got to be like 31 or 28 or something like that. It's basically divide the spread by half, divide the game by half. I don't know. Anyway, Iowa State's defense is really banged up. Even when they were healthy, they weren't very good. We know that they really want to pass. They can't run the ball really effectively at all. Like I think it's been better in recent weeks, but it still hasn't been good. It's kind of a tough week for quarterback matchups, in my opinion. Like there are a lot of guys who I think are playable, but not like amazing. So he kind of falls into that bucket where I kind of don't think the Iowa State secondary is any good. And if I don't believe that the Iowa State secondary is any good, and I think that TCU is going to score points, then I think that comes through the air. I don't think they're like bottom 10 in rushing efficiency. So like, I don't think it's going to come on the ground. So the points have to come from somewhere. I think that's like a Hoover expectation. But no, the offense hasn't been great in recent weeks. It's been down, but I think injuries to some of the receivers have played a big part in that. I think they're healthier now.
All right, I'm sold. Josh Hoover into all of my lineups this week. That's what we're rolling with here. Okay, we getting some comments already, guys, and I will say, if you've got your start sit questions, drop them in. We'll get to all of them. I don't think we've missed one yet this season. So drop them in here, and we'll get to them as quickly as we possibly can. We might wait till, like, if it's a wide receiver question, we might wait till we get to the wide receivers, but we will try to get to all of them here. Adam in the chat says, Matt, get out of soccer mode. So
yeah,
big week this week, everybody. Drop the questions in there. We know you got them.
Yeah. Please just don't make them about soccer.
If you've got questions, I'm here to answer them. Go ahead, Adam. Whatever you got, buddy. I'm here for you.
We skip relevant football games from the week, and we start talking about Tottenham. Like, who cares about the Spurs? They're the Spurs, right?
Well, not the Spurs.
They're
The Spurs are pretty cool. Wemby, Dylan Harper. They got some fun stuff going on over there.
Now we're getting basketball analysis. This is your morning show for everything.
This is like the week that we did the doctor thing, the doctor draft.
Hey, in fairness, real quick,
drafted everything.
Colin said this is the most important week to have all four of us on. Sure, because we are actually getting some playoff games, but this football schedule is really bad this week when it comes to really important games. So we're just bringing everything in today, all right? We're entertaining everyone.
You got to do what you got to do. The back half here of our top 30 quarterbacks on the week. We missed a thing. The Trinidad Chambliss versus Citadel. Braylon Braxton taking on Arkansas State. Bryson Barnes, Darian Mensah, been a hot name lately. Anthony Calandria, Cade Klubnik, Jalen Rayner, Dante Moore, Carson Beck. I mean, this is getting pretty gross pretty quick here, as somebody had just mentioned. Kattenhauser, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, Baron Morton, Caden Veltkamp, Bear Bachmeyer, Kevin Jennings. A lot of yucky in here, Chris. A lot of yucky.
Yeah. It's not a great week. It's a tough week on buys, like Brett mentioned in the chat. I'm not going to touch on the comment on the screen. I don't need to dive into that. And there's a lot of question marks once you get further down. Like, how comfortable do you feel about a guy like Cade Klubnik? Like, I think they've been much better, and I don't know that Florida State's defense is great, but like, it's like not a tough matchup. But is Clemson going to make a bowl game? Maybe not. Wow, that stinks. You hate to see it for a program like that, but it's hard to trust the offense. I think they might be all right, but it's going to be very concentrated target share between TJ Moore and Williams, and I don't know what that does yardage-wise for Cade. Dante Moore versus Iowa, really tough matchup. Listen, Moore's was really good the first half of the year. I felt like he was playing really good football. Last few weeks, I don't see that same level, and there's a couple reasons I think for Oregon.
In fairness, there's been some like weird weather stuff in there and stuff too. That Wisconsin game was just junk.
Yeah, I thought he was on his way like first round draft capital, and I kind of am pulling back a little bit on that. And I'm like a Dante Moore hater, so I was quite a fan.
You almost admitted you were wrong, and then you caught yourself. It's good strategy.
Who's the other one that I wanted to address real quickly? Bear Bachmeyer is like impossible to keep out of the top 30 just because of like who's out this week and like what he's done so far. But like, I would not want to play Bear Bachmeyer, and I would not feel good about it because I think he could he hasn't really faced pressure this year.
Yeah, this is going to be a welcome. This is going to be a welcome to the show type deal, right?
Yeah, I think we could have a really low output for BYU today.
Well, the questions are coming in, so we can get right into some of these. Arvin says, thoughts on Gunnar Stockton this week. Georgia plays
Mississippi State.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Any thoughts from the group here, Colin? I mean, I don't hate that. Mississippi State not amazing defensively.
No, I don't either. I think we kind of touched on it. A lot of the top guys have buys this week, so I think like the cluster of guys especially like in this range is probably pretty tight. I don't have the rankings pulled up here in front of me to see like what the exact separation is, but I imagine it's only like a point or two. So I think you can put in Gunnar Stockton instead of any number of guys on this list. Like, would I rather start Gunnar Stockton or Cade Klubnik? Probably Stockton. So yeah, I mean, I think you can definitely roll him out there depending on what your other options are.
It's less than a point between Stockton and Klubnik right now. And I mean, I would feel I agree 100% with Colin. Like with the way Stockton's been playing this year, especially with the rushing side, which again, I don't think any of us, even, Austin and I both on the recruiting team, I don't think either one of us expected that out of him this year. He's been really good as a rusher, bringing in some rushing touchdowns. Again, I get what Chris was saying about Klubnik, and it's probably a good matchup too for him against Florida State, and Mississippi State has played well this year, but I think Stockton, realistically, you look at what Stockton's done this year, he's been pretty impressive from a fantasy scale. Outside of a couple games, I would feel pretty good about starting him today.
He's right. He just missed the rankings. Like he's on the outside looking in here. I get it. I do. But like, he hasn't been that good. He's had like over 20 points twice in his last 5. Like, he's been okay. I get it.
I would play Klubnik over him, by the way. I know someone.
I think I would too.
They're going to throw the ball a bajillion times.
I would play Stockton over Bachmeier. I would play Stockton over potentially Baron Morton. I would play Stockton over. That's kind of it though on this list. To be honest with you, like I think he's ranked appropriately. I don't dislike the player. I just like they don't
Del
ask
Rio
him.
Wilson? Would you play him over Del Rio Wilson?
No, I think that game's gonna go over today. Well, I guess you can make a case. That's close. They don't ask Stockton to do anything until they have to. They don't trust him running the offense. Like it's very obvious to me that like they don't want him to do anything until like it's necessary. Do we get to that point today against Mississippi State where Georgia's like, okay, it's gunner time, and like he comes out in the second half and is chucking it around? Like, I don't know. I think they like to hide him if they can, and I could see a little bit of that in the game plan today, because I mean it is a 8.5, 9 point spread, unless it's gone even further, right? Like this is a game that Georgia should handle, I think.
Colin, different Colin asks, most upside, Julian Sayem, Brad Jackson, or Alejado today?
Upside is Brad Jackson.
Upside's always Brad Jackson. But I think it's Sayin and Brad Jackson for me in this one. Sayin offers like a really nice floor. We've seen it week after week. They get Purdue this week, another pretty soft matchup. Ohio State's not bad running the ball, but they're not great. They're just so effective passing that I just don't see a world where Julian Sayin this week doesn't throw for like 290 to 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's just a really safe floor. But Brad Jackson gives you that rushing upside.
Fair enough. What is the? I don't want to skip around on the comments, but I do want to address the wind situation that Brett brought up in Lubbock. It's like 20 miles per hour, so like that's real wind. Like that's not baby wind, and I think it's going to be
baby wind.
Upwards
so like baby bok choy, like we're in like that category here in terms of like baby products, baby wind.
I mean, it's not baby wind. I don't think. I think if I'm looking at it right now, and I have to do math in my head for not only is it like 24-hour clock, but it's also 6 hours. So I have to do like all that math in my head to figure out when exactly like I'm looking at it correctly for the time zone. But it looks like tonight it's going to be between like 15 and 18 consistently, and then like 25, 30 gusts. Like that's not sit your players, but it is keep an eye on the situation high.
Is it a Dickey day?
Not for me personally.
In Colin's house.
Yeah, I was gonna say 35. You got to send me where you're seeing that, because I'm looking at I think it's the Lubbock Airport.
Well, then the real question just becomes how close is the airport to the, and then we just got to figure that out. I mean,
Lubbock is in the middle of nowhere. Like it can't be that different, right? It looks so. I see. I'm looking at it. It looks like it does look like it's going to come down a little bit that direction, like southwest. Okay, sorry. I don't know enough about the weather situation to say that it's not going to be that windy, but the place I'm looking that has it like 30 gusts and consistent in like 20-ish.
All right, let's get out of win talk.
Are you sure? Because if you wanted to know, Lubbock Preston Smith International Airport is only 10 minutes down the road from Texas Tech University. Just in case you were wondering.
There we go.
A tortilla's toss away.
Yeah, exactly.
Jim says, I'm surprised Veltkamp is 28. I thought he would be ranked higher.
He's kind of
He just hasn't been that amazing this year.
Yeah.
I thought that offense would be so much better, and it really has not been. Like his last 2 games, 21 points and 13 points against South Florida and Navy. Like he probably should have scored more. And those are on 50 pass attempts, by the way. So if he doesn't get 50 pass attempts, that's a little concerning. The floor is there for Veltkamp. The offense just has not been very good.
Andrew says, can't start Horvath today at Notre Dame, and playoff schedule is tough. Is he droppable? Have Colton Joseph, Fagano, and a Williams. Who's the quarterback? Who's Williams?
Yeah, which Williams, Andrew?
I can't even think of a QB Williams. It's just like gone out of my head. Oh yeah,
There's
Damon.
no way. There's no way. Damon Williams. There's no way Damon Williams is on the waiver wire, right?
He's saying that's who he's saying that's who he has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd go Damon.
Golly.
I guess.
Well, I think what he's saying is he has these 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Because he has these 3 quarterbacks, can he afford to drop Horvath? I think the answer is probably yes. I think it depends on the settings. I'm assuming 2 QB settings here. You're going to roll Joseph and Williams out there pretty much every week. I don't know what their bye schedule looks like coming up off the top of my head here, but assuming you're covered with those 3 quarterbacks, like I feel okay dropping Horvath if you really need it.
I would prefer to keep him on my team, like in case there's an injury. And like I know the matchups aren't great. Like it's South Florida, it's a bye. It's Army, and it's somebody else. I don't remember off the top of my head, maybe schedule, but something like that. Like it's not easy for sure. Memphis. We're coming off like
score on Memphis. Memphis is like not a negative matchup as far as I'm concerned for fantasy purposes.
We're coming off 3 straight 40+ point games from him. Like I would not want to drop him, have somebody else pick him up and start him against me and see him go for 40 because like that's in the range of outcomes. I would just keep him on the bench.
Yeah, I'm with Chris. I'm with Chris. Actually, a league I think at least 3 of us were in a couple of years ago that the Brian Shikokas used to run. I forgot what it was called, but you couldn't pick up waivers throughout the year. That happened to me where I ended up having all my quarterbacks injured going into the final game as I was playing for the championship and had to start a player who was already talked about possibly missing the game who got me like 0.5 points. Having a startable quarterback on there, I think helps. Yeah, you may not like what Horvath has from a playoff schedule point, but if any one of those 3 get hurt and you have to rely on somebody, it's better to have someone than to not. So every point matters for a championship game.
And I don't think the schedule is like prohibitive. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's prohibitive.
Yeah. Okay. I see we have like 1 or 2 other questions in there. They're not QB related. They're other positions, but we're going to head into running back right now. So we'll probably get to that here in just a second. Let's head over to running back here. And here are our top 15 here this week. Jeremiah Love at the top of the list. Cameron Cook, Emmett Johnson, Ahmad Hardy, Kawan Lacey, Jonah Coleman, Lincoln Pear, Adam Randall, Antoine Raymond, Jaden Thomas, Dante McMillan, Anthony Hankerson, Jaden Baugh, Cam Edwards, and Kendrick Raphael. The Raphael one's interesting because he's been just scoring touchdowns at a pretty crazy rate the past couple of weeks. Louisville scare you at all a little bit there, Chris, with Raphael?
Yeah, they're like 18-point dogs. So,
that too.
I don't know the game script is going to really play out well for Raphael. Raphael's a player that I feel like I have been consistently too low on like throughout the year. Like I don't think the ranking on here reflects how good he's been, and I have a really tough time with it because you said the touchdown rate. Like running backs score touchdowns, I think like 1 in every about like 115 yards, ish. So like 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, give or take. He has 10 touchdowns on 612 yards. Like, that's super efficient and really unlikely to continue. But it's been continuing. Like 2 last week on 13 for 46, 3 the week before on 20 for 71. Like, he gets the goal line touches. So I think that is a pretty valuable role. I don't know that opportunity is going to be there today, but it's hard to keep him off the list when he keeps going for 20 plus points every single week. And it's a tough week with buys.
Yeah, the buys certainly do make things a little more difficult here.
By the way,
yeah.
I don't have John Kiwi Sagapilatelli like high at all. Like, he's pretty low in the rankings. I know we were like really hyped about him at the beginning of the year, and he looked really good. And I think the supporting cast stinks, and I think there's a lot of things working against him. But like, he has not played well for like 3 or 4 straight weeks.
Yeah, it's been a little iffy.
Just feel like that needs to be addressed.
It's funny because I think that Cal offense has turned out to be kind of what we thought it was going to be from a supporting cast perspective. Like, it's just not good. It's just very, very bad. So I think they were at one point leading the country in drops. I do not know if that's still the case or not. But or maybe that was Maryland. That was leading the
Maryland. It's got to be Maryland. They have the worst receivers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know as I was watching Malik Washington and JKS, that was a common theme for both of them there. Man, Ole Miss gets the Citadel this week. That's so nice if you've got some Ole Miss guys. I mean, Lacey. Yeah, feel good about that.
Glad to see we got the graphic right on this one. Whoever did them.
You're welcome. I don't know who did it. Was it you, Colin?
It was me. I did both.
I mean, I don't want to call anybody out here, but there were a bunch of them that I had to fix. That was just one that I missed. Just say it. Just say it.
Do you worry about
a bunch is a loose term? A bunch is a very subjective term. There were 3 or 4 that I fixed.
Do you write the game script in this Ole Miss game for the key offensive players?
It's gonna be interesting. I don't think Ole Miss needs style points today, right? Like, realistically, this isn't like a year where like.
Have you known Lane to not like run up the score though when he can?
Lane checks the over/under at halftime. He wants to make sure they cover. He brings this up all the time.
Too. Yeah,
so
there's a couple of coaches that do.
Lane and Signetti are the 2 that do that.
The spread in this game opened at 55 points, by the way. It's down to 51.5, but like they're expecting Ole Miss to score like 63. Or no, I think it's 58 points or something like that. So like that's a lot of touchdowns, and I don't know that they're all going to be garbage. Like I think there's a very real chance that Lacey, Chambliss, the receivers, Daquan Wright don't play the second half. Like I think it could be like 42-0. However, they're probably going to play a big part in that 42. Like that's the give and take. I think
I think Lacey. Game. I think I kind of like Lacey. If I had to bet on like the running back that scores the most fantasy points today, I think I would put it on Lacey.
I think I would put it on Emmett Johnson if we were just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's a fair one too.
What happens when the touchdowns don't go his way in the first half and like he gets pulled? I like that's a real possibility in these type of matchups. Not that I think it's going to happen because I think that the receivers are not very good this year, but still.
Yeah, Quan Lacey don't score a touchdown challenge impossible. Is kind of where we've been out this year.
Yeah, it's pretty much been a free square and Underdog every time I've been on the show.
And yet you didn't play it today. I bet they don't even offer it today. Did they?
They don't. I'll look. Actually, I didn't look, but
they probably didn't even offer any.
It's like minus 1,000.
Yeah, I bet they didn't really offer anything on that game for good and obvious reasons.
Keywan Lacey could not dig up results for Keywan Lacey is what Underdog says right now.
All right, so let's see here. Somebody asked, it's like way back here now. Jay Ducker versus Army, Elijah Green versus Oregon State, Javon Jackson versus Rice, Aaron Turner versus UAB.
Ooh. That is really shoveling the shit. I gotta be honest with you. It's not Elijah Green because I don't trust his role in that offense at all. And they're, again, 20-point dogs. Like, how much are they? I know he's involved in the passing game, but like, that's kind of a tenuous proposition. Javon Jackson basically splits with Solomon Beebe quite a bit.
But it's Rice.
They're still underdogs, though, to Rice.
Are they?
Yeah, I think by like 2 or something. It's within a field goal. Personally, I'd play Jay Ducker. I like the Temple offense. I think that they're pretty efficient. I think last week was more of a mirage. They have a week now. I think they're getting a little healthier. I think that they've actually have interesting pieces on the outside where they don't have to load up the box. Like I've been kind of impressed with the Holloway receiver. They don't really make a lot of mistakes either. Like Evan Simon was bad for the first time last week, but like he's been pretty efficient and like fine, which keeps drives on schedule, which really helps Ducker. I think you're going to get a good Ducker game today.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ducker's probably the one out of that group. I don't love any of them though.
I don't either.
Adam says McMillan is surprising. He hasn't gone over 14 points in about a month. Is that correct? Because I started him very recently, and I think I was happy with what I ended up getting. But
He had. Well, I guess a month is true considering I think they had a bye in there. 10, 5, 15, 30. Bowling Green, I think, is in for a rough one this week, personally. It's hard to argue with the usage that McMillan gets. 20 carries when the game script is fine. And, like, in his last 5 games, he has how many targets? 8 plus 7. Like, almost 30. He gets a lot of usage. And I know our boy Duncan Brune, it gets some goal line work too, but it's hard to keep out a player who gets 6 targets a game. He's not efficient with those targets. He goes 5 for 9, like 4 for 11. But like in PPR, that's points, man. I don't know. I find it hard to quit McMillan.
Andrew also asked, with Watson probable, is Keywan, which Watson, the Louisville running back, is Keywan Brown versus Cal the sit and Shepard the start for Bell Cow Volume versus bad UConn D. Also have Jamari Taylor and Dickens, the Liberty back, versus Missouri State on my bench. And just spoiler, Taylor and Dickens are on the next slide, I believe. So on the next graphic. So I think they're all.
I think all 4 of those guys.
I was going to say Keywan Brown probably is too.
Yeah, I think
considering I didn't think he was going to play when we put it together. This is a pretty interesting question because I think the toughest matchup of all of them is Jamari Taylor versus Wake. I think the easiest matchup of all of them is Dickens versus Missouri State. And I know Dickens is coming off a huge week and like it's an obvious letdown spot. Not sure he gets let down. I think he might be good this week. That's kind of how I would roll it, I think. I like Nate Shepard too, but like the volume isn't consistent. Like they just want to rotate in other guys. So I think I like Dickens.
I think I like Dickens probably the most too, but I'm not that scared off by Watson with starting Brown. Like we've seen this offense support 2 running backs in games before. I don't think that much of Cal's defense, and I can see Brown being the guy that they lean on in like around the goal line. Watson's probably going to catch more passes, so the 2 PPR might hurt you a little bit more with Brown, and I think that has to come into play a little bit. So that's part of why I would lean Dickens, but I'm not scared of playing Brown this week, even though Watson's in.
Matt, in a draft of all-time Dickens, is Evan Dickens the second Dickens off the board behind Charles? Is that where we're at here, we think?
I think so. Yeah, I think Charles has to be number 1 for just multiple other reasons. But yeah,
I mean, could he do it in today's era? Is the big question. I think.
I think so. I think Charles Dickens could do it in every era. It's kind of like the Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate, right? Like, could they do it in those eras? I think Charles Dickens is one of those. He translates to every era, even in the Skibbity Riz era we're in now. I think Charles Dickens would find a way to make it work.
Man, imagine Charles Dickens in the Skibbity Riz era. It's not something I thought we were going to talk about here on the show this morning, but here we are.
How many other Dickens do you know?
Those are the only 2. I just thought it was
Mason
fun. Mason Dixon.
Oh,
like the line? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think those are 2 separate people, right? Like someone's name was Mason and someone was Dixon.
No, Colin's been confused this whole time. He thought it was the Mason Dickens line.
You live way too close to that for that to have actually been a thing that you thought your whole life, Colin.
No,
you live
I
like
know
2
it's
hours
not the
from
Mason
that.
Dickens line.
I don't really know any other famous Dickens.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I was gonna say, tough draft. You really want the 101 in that.
If you
year.
got the 103, yeah, you're not feeling great about coming out of that draft
No.
with anything usable. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
All right. Well, running backs 16 through 30 here. And as promised, I think all those players are on the list here that we just mentioned. Jacoby Williams, Daniel Highshaw, LJ Martin, Jeffrey Pittman, Wayne Knight, Carson Hansen, Kewan Brown, Nate Shepard, Jadarian Price, Kewan Owens, Javon Ducker, Katron Allen, Jamari Taylor, Lucky Sutton, and Eli Heidenreich. So Dickens wasn't on here. I lied. Thought he was.
I thought he was too.
I digress. Maybe he got missed. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, here's the group. Chris, anything stand out here to you?
I know Highshaw had the touchdowns last week, and that's kind of what you're looking at with him. I think that the touchdown equity is important. I think he's a better player than LaShawn Williams. I felt that the entire year. That Kansas offense is kind of rotten, I think. Like, I don't think the floor is totally falling out on them, but like, I think it could this week. I really don't like what I am seeing out of the boys in where is that, Lawrence. I'm a little worried about. Not that Arizona is a good defense or anything. They're due for a game where it like collapses, I think, and I don't know that it's going to be this week, but like it could be. I'm just a little scared off.
I don't have a lot of other notes on this slide, to be honest. I mean, calling Katron Allen just going to be the guy for Penn State rest of season. Is that where we're at here on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the way it's trending. We've talked about Singleton and how disappointing he's been. Is there an injury? Is there not an injury? But I mean,
Has he been injured every game for the last like 3 years?
Well, I mean, he has 2,000-yard seasons in there, so not 3 years.
Well,
but no, I mean, it's going to be Katron. Like, ever since Franklin's been out, has been ousted, they've been giving Katron the rock. Now, you know, how much is that going to mean in this game? I don't know. I mean, we were talking pre-show, the Indiana line was it 14?
14 and a half feels like a joke to me. It feels like it
feels like a bit of a
double
trap.
that.
Yeah. So I wouldn't expect Katron Allen to get a lot of it. Like, the game script is going to be trouble for him, but they can't throw the ball effectively. So also fair.
I mean, if you think Indiana is roughly equivalent to Ohio State, just like generally speaking from like a team standpoint, and I think they're slightly worse, but not, you know, by anything that's terribly measurable. Like Ohio State kind of had their way with Penn State last week. I don't know. Chris, any thoughts on that 14 and a half line? I know this isn't the portion of the show where we do that, but that feels real light.
I like Penn State.
You're a sick man.
Hook. At some point you have to look at the dudes who are playing and be like, yeah, we match up athletically or better. Period. Like, that's like, it feels gross. It does. But I don't know. Like, Indiana can't do this every single week where they crush their opponent, and Penn State is like better than they've seen. They're better than we've seen. I don't think it competes.
I agree, but I also I
don't even like
about Brunkemeyer and how effective that offense can be.
And they have nothing behind him. All I see all week are beat reporters tweeting out like all the other quarterbacks are dead. It's Grunkmeyer and then like Beckham Kritza.
Yeah.
Which
not great.
Beckham Kritza, I believe, is the lowest rated P4 QB recruit I've ever graded. He's very, very bad. There was no reason for him to be stuck at Penn State. I don't know why he did that, but very bad play.
Because this situation like this, he saw it coming. He might get his shot.
He might.
Imagine being thrown in against Indiana. Like, ugh.
Good luck, kid.
I mean, Grunkmeyer had to go to Iowa at night in his first game and then had to play Ohio State in his second one. So,
yeah.
And in his third one, he's getting Indiana. So, like, not a great situation for him either.
He just isn't very good, but here nor there. Katron Allen on this list is like I think that's fine. Like, I think you can start Katron this week for what it's worth. Like, I know the spread is what it is, but like, I think if Penn State's going to do anything, it's on the ground. And I think the trenches is actually probably a mismatch for Penn State. I think it's the one area that they have an advantage. I think you can run this Indiana defense. And I think Katron has an okay day. I'm not saying he's going to get like 30 points, but like 15 to 20 is within the range of outcomes.
Arvin says Noah Whittington, Damon June, or Kamari Moulton today.
Line.
Was that like you're asking for someone to feed you the line, or is,
Yeah.
is that where we're at here?
Were you asking
like
for your line? Did you forget?
Like in a play?
Yeah.
Is there a fourth option?
I mean, I don't know.
Like, not really joking, kind of joking. I guess like I guess I would go June because it's the best matchup. I don't trust Whitting. I don't know what the Oregon split looks like this week. Like Jordan Davison's coming on. I don't like the matchup for Iowa. It's tough. So I don't know.
If you want to go based on Chris's projections, you want to go Kamari Moulton or Damon June. Both those are fairly have fairly more projected points than Noah Whittington does. So if you want to go with Chris's logic there too on the better matchup, June, it's less than a point difference between him and Kamari Moulton. Are any of you guys worried about starting LJ Martin this week? I mean, I know maybe with the win and everything, we expect this to be more probably of like a running attack here for them. But Bear Bachmeier has been stealing some of these rushing touchdowns from him. And Martin, despite, I think, putting up somewhat decent stats, has not been that great for fantasy outside of like 2 games going over 20 points.
80 yards and a touchdown every week. Real cool stuff.
That's fair. I guess. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's annoying. That's all he can do. It's very annoying.
It's a tough matchup. I think very real outcome is.
I mean, I get you may not have better options with all the bye weeks. I was just curious if anybody's concerned because again, coming off the shoulder injury, I know they said he's fine, but I mean, what if he takes one big hit to that shoulder again? Is he going back down?
He's hurt. He's hurt all the time too.
Yeah, he gets hurt every year.
I think what's keeping his projection high is the receiving work. He gets like 3 to 5 targets a game. That's pretty. And he's been okay recently. Like he was good against Utah. So like I think this is a tougher front, but like 14.7 points against Utah. Like if he gets 50 points today, you think you're disappointed?
Well, he was imbued by the power of the Holy War that day. I don't know, outside of that.
It's a fair point.
He got to read the tablets. Nobody gets to read the tablets. He got to read the tablets.
Man, LJ Martin, shout out. Good for him. Let's see here. We've got some more running back questions coming in here. Thank you, whoever clicked that. Jim says, please pick 2. Is it a Dickey Day, Middlebrook, Jacoby Williams, or Kendrick Raphael? Colin, Dickey Day?
Man, you're asking me to choose between like two sons here with Dickey and Middlebrook. Kale Middlebrook, my guy.
Wait, is that? I don't
know you were a
remember you
Middlebrook guy.
ever mentioning Jaquel Middlebrook ever.
He did just
All right,
now,
well,
5 seconds ago.
I'm glad Meth
Roll the
Labs
tape.
is here. Meth Labs is in the chat. He has a question, and I started. We can talk about that one later. I'm glad he's here because he and I are the Middlebrooks guys. You guys clearly don't pay attention in the Discord.
I don't pay attention to you in the Discord. There's a difference.
That's fair. I think I would lean Middlebrook here. I think there's a good chance it could be a Dickey Day with the way the wind is going to be, but I'm not sold on that. And Middlebrook has just been so consistent. Like even when he's not really getting like the carries or like the game script gets out of hand, he's like the only guy catching passes. He catches like 6 passes a game or something insane like that. He had like 7 catches last week. So I think I go Middlebrook here. And then the second one, probably Dickey.
Middlebrook is ranked, right?
He is not.
I thought he was. Anyway,
I'm not ruling it out. Whoever did these graphics.
Might have missed.
Could have missed.
Wait,
some.
Colin, weren't you the one that
As his father, as one of his sons, he missed putting him on the sheet, but he is ranked. He is ranked.
What kind of Dion son stuff is this here? Trying to pull
He's trying to avoid the appearance of nepotism.
Look, he knew it was
exactly.
Dicky Day, so he didn't want to put Middlebrooks on here. All right, he was just trying to teach him a lesson.
I was gonna say I think we really like Middlebrook this week. Colin can't say better than I did, or I can't say better than Colin can. The usage is just ridiculous, and I think it's a good match.
My worst crime this morning was trusting Colin a little too much on some of these. I will do better next week.
In my defense, there was like 4 players in a row that had already played this week, so
not sure that's much as a defense as you think it is there, buddy. But
between what's worse, this or the non-transparent backgrounds of who you weeks ago on the lower thirds? Let us know in the chat. Which Colin mess up is your favorite Colin mess up? No,
let's draft them.
Ooh, that's a deep.
Being born is 101, and then we can go from there after that.
God,
wait, what's 101? Oh, being.
I'm just kidding. I just give you a hard time, Colin. Let's see here. Meth Labs is in the chat. Why is Kevin Jennings ranked 30 versus BC? Is what he asked.
I think that's a fair question. I like Kevin Jennings this week a lot. We kind of jumped a couple different places at the quarterback spot, but when we were discussing those there, but like I mentioned during that segment, I think people rank, or like guys ranked from like 16 to like 35 are all very, very tight. I do really like Kevin Jennings this week against a bad Boston College team.
He's so Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
Like I think the matchup is great so that he gets in the top 30, but like he's QB 47 on the year. So like not like he has the track record to back this up. He was good against Miami. He was really good against Miami last week for sure.
Has he been running as much as he we kind of expected this year?
No,
I don't even know if he has like positive rush yards on the year. He's 25 rushing yards on 54 attempts.
That's been the killer for him this year, really, like from a fantasy perspective.
I think he could start or fine start. I'm staring at his game log and I'm like, okay, well, they played Stanford, they went with 24 and he had 19 points. Like, I think that's a range of outcomes.
To Chris's point on games that he should do good, he should play well in against weaker opponents, say, plays like Stanford, Missouri State. Who was the other one? Oh, no, that's not right. He did not play that well, though. I mean, Miami, but that was a shootout for them for the most part. They went into overtime last week, did they not, to end up winning that game? Like, Kevin Jennings, as he said, has been very inconsistent. And to Colin's point, it's not just quarterback 16, who I believe is Cade Klubnik. It goes all the way down to quarterback 42. They are separated by less than 2 points. So being ranked 30 is not necessarily a bad thing. He's within 2 points of QB 16, which is Cade Klubnik. We just looked up Gunnar Stockton earlier, their Meth Labs, and he was at, I think, 41 or 42, and he was less than a point off Cade Klubnik. So all those quarterbacks, just based on matchups and everything, are very close, and we kind of just went with based on matchups and how Mox does the rankings on there, but it's not like he's saying Kevin Jennings at 30 is that much different than Cade Klubnik this week.
It's a really good point.
It is a good point.
And Jim was curious why Middlebrook was ranked low this week. So he is not. He should have been in here, probably right around that Ducker ranking if I had to guess, just looking at this. So
Colin was pulling a Nate Marquise on us and hiding some of his favorite players until the right moment to just reveal it. That's all it was.
Yeah.
We all know now Colin's a Middlebrooks guy. Now we know. Thank you, Colin.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Well, it's actually almost 11 here on the East Coast. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll hit wide receivers and tight ends. We'll get into some underdog stuff, some betting. We'll do our injury roundup. The folks that have been with us all season, they know what's about to come. We'll hit you guys on this side of the break here. This is the Tailgate brought to you by Campus to Canton.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Ludacris go stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't like it and my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying, loot is back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Luda Yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't like it and my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying, Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Luda Yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't like it and my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying, Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Luda Yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. What's the Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you. You're gonna solve that mystery. I see you, Scooby-Doo. The trail is back to you. What's the Scooby-Doo? What's the Scooby-Doo? We're gonna follow you. You're gonna solve that mystery. We see you, Scooby-Doo. We're coming after you. What's the Scooby-Doo? Don't look back. You might find another clue. Scooby snacks will be waiting here for you. What's the Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you. You're gonna solve that mystery. I see you, Scooby-Doo. The trail is back to you. What's the Scooby-Doo? Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Well, I can't think of a song that I'd rather, come back to than What's Up, Scooby-Doo? What's up, listeners here? Thanks for tuning in with us here this morning for the Tailgate, brought to you by campus2canton.com. We're getting you guys ready for all of the games here this week. We've been going through the rankings, and we'll just hop right back into that. We've already covered QB and running back this week. So what do we got? A wide receiver. I did this one. It's probably going to be correct. All right, here we go. Here's the top 15. Jeremiah Smith and Danny Scudero are doing their weekly, one of them's first and one of them's second. And that's who's 1 and 2 again this week. Skylar Bell, I believe the leading reception guy in college football so far this year, at number 3. Casey Concepcion at 4. Eric McAllister at 5. Denzel Boston, Chris Bell, Elijah Surratt, Cornell Tate, Malachi Toney. I mean, this is kind of what you would expect at the top of this list on any given week. Jeremy Bernard, Antonio Williams, Deuce Robinson, Jackson Harris, who has turned into the go-to guy for Alahada there at Hawaii, and then Colin, your guy, Bo Sparks. Do you want to just get it out of the way? Do you want to do it? You want to do it?
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere.
This new booty.
All right. Glad that we could get that out of the way. We got it out of your systems now.
Thank you for allowing me to do that.
You know, I got to throw you a little bit of a bone after how we treated you on the first hour. I didn't feel great about it as I walked away from here to fill up my coffee again. Chris, we're just gonna toss right to you.
That's a new one. It's a new one for you.
He was hoping for a reduced sentence.
Pretty much.
Maybe it was 3 weeks ago we talked about Mario Craver, and we said, you know, there's really not much difference between these two players. Conception and Craver are pretty close. After that conversation, it's basically just cratered for Craver. And Concepcion is the primary beneficiary, I think. Like, Craver is not a startable receiver in like any capacity. Like, he double cheeked up Thursday afternoon. Terrible. Concepcion, though, I think he's in for a big game because I think you can throw out this Missouri secondary. It's more the defensive line, like we talked about earlier. That's the concern. There is also injury questions around Elijah Surratt. I think he's going to play for what it's worth, but you don't want to see a top 10 receiver dealing with a hamstring injury questionable before the game. So totally understand.
I was strongly considering Omar Cooper lines for Underdog here. He's so boomer bust, and the fact that Surratt is questionable made me steer clear of that. But I am a little bit worried about Surratt. Hamstrings can kind of linger.
Austin, you are correct. Skylar Bell does have the most receptions in all of college football. Anybody know who's number 2?
Colonel Tate?
No.
Scudero?
No. Scudero, he's right there. It's actually Lewis Bond from Boston College, who I know Corey and Mike talked about this week on Back to Debbie. They're 64, though. They are all at least 10 receptions behind Skylar Bell, the next closest receiver.
Were they trying to claim Lewis Bond as their guy this week? Did I miss this?
They were. I think that's what
Collins
Colin
guy,
Decker
right?
pulled, calling himself Middlebrooks guy. I think it's a whole thing, It's a thing at this company now. Everybody just claims to be guys of guys, who knows? It's a whole thing.
I mean,
the way Austin just
who
looked at
else?
guys.
Who else would be a Middlebrooks guy?
We don't know. We know now Colin Decker.
It's me and Meth Labs. We're the only ones.
I've often said if there's anything that like a topic that it can just be me and Meth Labs
Sorry, out
on,
of
like, I'm
context,
probably just theoretically we're probably doing well on that. So
You always want to be aligned with Meth Labs. That's a good point.
Always.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. No, it's people not in the Discord may be a little confused as to why Colin is aligning himself with Meth Labs right now.
The Meth Labs, not
the Meth Labs, not all Meth Labs.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's some really bad ones like out in Appalachia and stuff. That's disavow.
Yeah, for sure. The ones in Albuquerque, pretty good though.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of other comments. Man, we have got Jeremy Bernard as the top Bama guy this week. And
Ryan
Antonio Williams is the top
playing.
guy.
There was questions,
Yeah.
but Ryan Williams is in.
Yeah. So just something notable there.
Do we trust McAllister as a top 5 guy?
Yes.
I don't know how you can't.
Okay. That's fair.
Iowa
Yes,
State's
you're gonna
missing like
back,
7
but-
defensive starters, I believe.
Yeah.
You asked the question, Colin, so why are you not? What is your hesitation?
Since we answered so aggressively, he's going to hit us with that. I was just asking for discussions. It was what everyone had to say.
He
You're
has
just asking questions.
it here, but I don't know. I have a little bit of PTSD from the beginning of the season where I'm like, McAllister in the top 5?
His last 4 games, 27, 13, 31, 22. He's had 30 targets in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, even when like I think that was what they scored like 21 points a week or 2 ago or something. He still produced. Like he scored the touchdown, I believe. So yeah, he feels a little.
Yeah, against
little,
Colorado. Yeah, he had like 22 points.
Fair enough.
Just
I'm
asking
starting him where I have him, but I don't know. Still have a little PTSD.
I thought you
Well,
were
that's how I
saying
feel about Elijah
PTSD from the
Surratt.
beginning of this show. So
Oh, well, that too.
Long road to recovery.
If we don't have any other comments on this group, we can just go to the back 15. I mean, Matt, by the way, just real quick, 2 Ohio State receivers in the top 15 there feel okay to you against Purdue? I know you talked about it, I think, this week on C2C Live. Like, it is a team that has, to some extent over the years, had played tough against Ohio State.
Yeah. I do, because of what Colin actually said earlier about Julian saying, like, he's just, I think you're going to get probably 300 yards and 2 to 3 touchdowns out of Julian saying, and he does seem, the beginning of the year really seemed to kind of go heavily toward Jeremiah Smith, but how good Carnell Tate has been of late, like, I think he's been looking to him as well. I expect Ohio State probably will try to put up a decent amount of points and then rely on the run game. The one thing I will say that I've noticed a lot from Ohio State this year is when they start to get up on opponents, they do take their foot off the gas pedal, because I don't think Ryan Day is trying to show anything, because I think the game that he really cares about is coming up here in a couple weeks. But I think starting both of them is going to be fine. I think they'll both get at least a touchdown today and probably, 60, 70 yards. Sayin just distributes the ball so well. Again, we talked about the beginning, 80% completion percentage. He's throwing the ball to Tate and Jeremiah Smith, and they're getting it done.
All right. The 16 through 30 here. KJ Duff leads us off here. Cooper Barkate, Gabrielle Benyard, Kate Harris, Ryan Williams, TJ Moore, Anthony Smith, Omar Cooper, Braden Pagan, Ian Strong, Lewis Bond, Jordan Napier, Jordan Hudson, Easton Messer, and Corey Rucker. I mean, this feels pretty chalky to me. Like, these are all guys that I would be comfortable starting this week.
Is Jaden Denegal playing this week?
I hadn't heard. Is he injured? Did I miss that?
Didn't know he was injured.
I thought he was injured.
I wouldn't rule it out. I did not know he was injured.
Yeah, he's questionable. I don't know that he's playing this week for what it's worth. I've heard 2 different opinions on it. So, like, just keep throwing that out there. I don't think to be honest, like, I don't know that he's matters to the spread at all. Like, he kind of stinks, but it probably does lower the floor for a player like Jordan Napier. A little concerned, because I heard that he might be out, but I don't know.
We got Brett in the chat saying he was questionable last week and played every snap. So that's fair.
Yeah, he's been dealing with something for a little while. I've seen increased skepticism this week. I don't have it from a good source, but I would just keep an eye on the situation, is all I'm saying. This is pretty chalky. Easton Messer is a really tough player to want to start. The volume is there, but they just don't score touchdowns. I do think they get in the end zone a little bit this week.
You mean 12 catches for 80 yards isn't your jam every week?
Whose stock has fallen harder the last few years than Zach Kittley?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it kind of brings up the, people say, well, waiting for the right job. Zach Kittley is a real good example of why you don't wait for the right job. You just kind of, I mean, not that he turned anything down, but it's why you kind of take the job while the iron's hot, right?
Well, I think you're kind of seeing that with Jeff Trailer at UTSA as well.
Yeah, it's another good one.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a lot of comments on this list. I do think, I don't know where he's ranked. I do think you can play Yannick Smith this week, though, the second EC receiver, who pretty touchdown dependent, had a big week last week. They're like 28-point favorites against Charlotte. I think both Yannick and Anthony Smith are startable if you're looking for somebody.
We have Yannick at 61. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think he's startable. That's startable to me.
13 points.
It's about 2 points behind Anthony Smith. When we talk about these sometimes, there's really not a lot separating these. Matt was highlighting that earlier. It's a good point to make every week. Our guy Lewis Bond that we mentioned earlier, TJ Moore on here. Omar Cooper, if Surratt is out for whatever reason, Cooper slides like into the top 10 essentially, probably in terms of like
probably.
We're not going to re-roll them at 11:59, but that sounds correct.
Yeah, I would put him up there. I know Colin was talking about that earlier, right? About possibly playing some underdog plays on him if we find out Surratt's going to be out. I think Cooper should have a big day.
Yeah, his line was like 58.5, I think, the receiving yards. So I might lean the over anyway, but especially if Surratt's out, I would try and jump on that quick.
All right. Let's see. We've got some questions that have come in. Andrew says start Barkate at UConn, Brennan Thompson against Georgia, or Messer against Tulsa in a 2 PPR. I mean, 2 PPR.
Oh, 2 PPR.
Messer would be pretty tempting. Just that he's gonna see 13 targets. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if he gets 10 catches, there's 20 points for you in 2 PPR. I think I would
point out that Barkate had like 13 receptions 2 weeks ago. Like Barkate is also getting a lot of volume.
Yeah,
he is.
Is it all like not every week though, right? I don't have his weekly whatever in front of me, but there's been some weeks where he's had like 5, 6. I don't know.
So Messer has 31 receptions in the last 4 games. Barkate has, I'm trying to do math, 9 plus 15, 28. So like it's not that far off.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would play Barkate personally.
Barkate's last couple games 6, 8, 13, 5. So sorry, 6, 13, 5. So I mean he's been getting targeted pretty heavily too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I wouldn't have.
I think both are playable though.
Just basically the answer that we wouldn't tell them to play Brennan Thompson, at least compared to those other two, is the takeaway.
Yeah, no. I don't hate Brennan Thompson this week, but I think the other two are just clearly better options.
Yeah. I did see somebody asked an NFL question, and we appreciate you hopping in here with us, Nathan, but that is not what we do here on the Tailgate every week. We just do college football stuff, but thanks for tuning in with us here if this is your first time. And if not, thanks for tuning in. But that's why we are skipping that question. Ruben Owens, Miles Davis, Lewis Bond, Vernell Brown. Drew needs 2 of them.
Owens, Miles Davis.
I think Bond for
Do you
sure.
need 10 points or do you need 13 points? Because that's about the range all these guys are going to. For the record, I like having some of these floor guys on my teams. I got a lot of Miles Davis and a lot of Lewis Bond.
I mean Bond for sure, and then is it Miles Davis?
I think it's Bond and Miles Davis. Yeah.
I mean, Missouri's defense has still been pretty good. I mean, obviously they're probably outmatched today versus Texas A&M, especially if Zollers doesn't have a good game. I just don't know that I trust Ruben Owens. And then, I know Mike Valerie is somewhere just paying attention anytime any of us mention Kentucky. Kentucky's been okay, at least defensively. And, I just don't know that Vernell Brown is going to be going off today. So I would go Miles Davis.
Dallas Wilson's out for sure. And Eugene Wilson, I'm pretty sure is going to be out this week too. So Vernell Brown's kind of the only guy left standing there. Not that I think it's going to be a high scoring game, but I think given the other options here, I would probably lean Vernell Brown, but I don't think Miles Davis is like a bad option either.
I mean, if
I probably wouldn't go Owens.
It is.
You want to pee your pants.
They call him Miles Davis, yeah. Andrew with the comment of the morning here on we only play 80s Joel. I can't promise I won't get as mad as that guy either if people keep asking. I just throw that out there too. All right. Arvin says start 2 of Parker Kingston, Brennan Thompson, Amarian Miller, and Caleb Douglas. I mean, I would maybe if you let us know if it's PPR, that might be a little helpful on this particular one.
I had a lot of questions about Kingston this week, just because he's been good. I do not want to play BYU players this week if I can avoid it.
I'd rather have PPR.
Yeah.
I think I might go Thompson and Miller. Our Miller's been pretty good. We're getting the Juju Lewis experience today too.
Yeah,
we are.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go well. I would go Brandon Thomas and Caleb.
I would go Thompson and
Kingston. I mean, it's WVU, right?
Yeah, but West Virginia's been playing decent.
They've been plucky.
Yeah, they've been the plucky lately. Underdogs every week.
I mean,
they've been hanging in games.
Their defense is not.
Here's the thing. Like, Austin, I think you and me are probably no, this is not meant as a shot at all toward Colin and Chris. Like, you and me are probably the most adept right here, the four of us, to talk about Juju Lewis with what I think he's going to be good. I still don't think he's ready to be a college starter right now. I mean, he reclassified up, for those of you listening who don't know. He should be a senior in high school right now. And I don't know that Colorado's offensive line, I get it. I understand it's West Virginia. I don't know that they will still be able to do a great job of protecting him today. I would find it very hard to trust Amarian Miller with Juju Lewis at quarterback personally. So I would go Brennan Thompson and Caleb Douglas.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion, to be
This is a
frank.
tough group. This is almost just like I pick 2 and pray. I know that's not like terribly helpful because I think there's positives and negatives for all of them. Like I think game script can really dictate things positively for Kingston and Thompson to an extent. I think game script can hurt Douglas a little bit. And I do think there's a real chance that the Miller bros just get peppered with targets today for Colorado. I mean, there's arguments to be made all around here.
Yeah. Arvin, all I'll say
yeah.
is if you're going to take Austin's advice and pick 2 and pray, then you definitely want to have Parker Kingston as one of those 2 while you're praying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, which God are we praying to here? Because I mean,
doesn't matter. Whichever you choose.
You don't want to risk it being the wrong one, and
I
then
guess that's
Kingston's
fair.
just not in the thing today. Yeah.
There's some people who completely don't get that joke.
It's the Mormon joke, yeah. Footballer says, is Wayshawn Parker worth keeping on a roster or dropping him for exciting waiver ads like Mediaire? Well, I would push back a little bit because Shimon Mediaire is not an exciting waiver ad, but it's a decent question.
Parker hasn't been bad this year. He just isn't getting like crazy usage. He's been pretty good, to be honest with you. Like he's averaging over 6 yards a carry and like he has 600 yards on under 90 attempts. Like, that's good. Assuming this is C2C, if it's CFF, like I'm fine with that. But if it's C2C, like I definitely think I'm holding on to Parker. Like there's no world where I'm probably dropping him. But CFF, I can understand.
Yeah, for sure. Matt is losing.
If only you guys could see what goes on behind the scenes. I'm sorry. I'm calming myself down. We're good.
Yeah, Matt was rolling here for a little bit. So, yeah, I think that answers that. Let's see here. Okay, so we do have confirmation that Colin is a Middlebrooks guy. He says, I have Middlebrook in 13 of my 14 C2C leagues. The only league I don't have him in, Colin poached him at like round 15 of the startup. He's definitely a Middlebrooks
15
guy.
of the startup's a little.
I was going to say, I've got a lot more questions here that he took Middlebrooks in the 15th
round 15 of the startup is a little bit of an exaggeration there. But thank you, Meth Labs. I appreciate the support there.
So,
can you really be someone's guy if you're taking him in the 15th round, Colin?
Out of 45?
In a startup?
Okay.
Where does Middlebrooks usually go?
That would definitely make me a Middlebrook guy if I took him in the 15th of a startup, which I did not. That's a little earlier than that.
I want to see that draft board.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see the evidence too.
Colin, your record precedes you a little bit. I think I need to see this. Right now, I'm kind of believing the other guy's story.
I'm starting to think that this is potentially a broken clock is right twice a day situation.
I mean, that's.
Is it?
That's why he drafts like
Jackson,
4 running backs from the same
and
team.
Jakale Middlebrook, because that's
when you draft the entire.
You know how I know that's
right, the entire MTSU running back room.
You know how I know that that's exactly right, that the clock's rise twice a day here with Colin? Because never once has he mentioned Middlebrooks until about an hour ago when he was supposed to be in the top 10 rankings of a graphic. That's how I know.
Let's go to running back. Or not running back, tight end. Sorry. Our top tight ends for the week. And, I think this is pretty chalky at the top, more or less here, except for Colin. Do you also like Hunter Tipton? Are you a Middle Tennessee guy?
I do not have any Hunter Tipton. I was very interested in Tipton this year as a replacement for Willis. Or was it Willis? What was the guy from last year? He was like
Holden Willis,
the hybrid guy. But it has not panned out. It's Middle Tennessee is the Jakale Middlebrooks show. So
do with that information what you will, listener. Eli Stowers, Terrence Carter, Kenyon Sadiq, Hunter Tipton, Eli Raridan, Mason Minnie, Trades Green, Brody Foley, Daquan Wright, Sam Roush, Brock Lane, Bowden Groen, Decker DeGroff, Carson Ryan, and Randy Pittman. I don't have anything to say about this group. Chris, do you have anything to say about this group?
I think this might be a get right spot for Sadiq, but like it doesn't feel good starting him. Like the usage
I also
is
think
not
it's
there.
a get right spot.
Spoilers for later.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of a crappy week for tight end in general. Like, just not a lot of good options. I think are playing. A lot of players on bye. Good tight ends have already played too. Like Cozio played already. I like Hunter Tipton for what it's worth. Like, I don't think it's just a Jaquel Middlebrook show. I think it's Jaquel Middlebrook show and Hunter Tipton show. And like maybe he is not the headliner, and like he's the opening act, and he gets to play for an hour, and you hear some of his songs, and you're like, oh, that was pretty good, but like he's no Jaquel Middlebrook. I think he's playable.
Have you guys ever had that experience at a concert you've gone to and discovered a really good band that was opening that you hadn't heard of before?
That I hadn't heard of before? No.
Yeah, I have not had that experience.
I've seen good bands open, but like not where I was like, oh, wow, they're really good. I'm glad that I came early and listened to them. No. But it doesn't mean it can't happen with Hunter Tipton.
Doesn't mean it can't happen for Hunter Tipton, who coincidentally I feel like sounds like a country singer.
Hunter, yeah. Where is Vereen? That's a good question.
I believe he was actually ranked number 9, but then Austin did the tight end graphics. This is correct. Never mind.
No, I can guarantee you. Yeah. Triple checked my work.
Colin quickly going to campscanton.com.
Yeah, he's like,
we got him, boys.
I
he was 19.
Going there.
19.
So he just missed. He's probably one outside the graphic.
He's literally 0.08 points behind Randy Pittman.
Yeah. So the touchdowns have been there for Vereen for sure, right? But like
targets and yardage is not. So that's an interesting dilemma for tight. I mean, tight end, you're kind of just praying for a touchdown.
Yeah, but like 28, 25, 82, 38, 24. Like you can't rely on that for volume. And he's still a top 20 tight end. Like that's how dubious the position is from the start. But like I don't feel good about Juice Vereen's use, good enough about his usage to like bring him up. He's had one good game all year, really, and like a couple passable games. Or maybe 2 good games all year. No, 1 good game all year. 1 game over 12 points.
All right. And with that, I think the rankings are gone. Feel free to keep dropping start sit questions, guys, in here. We will still get to them, we promise. Let's pivot over to Underdog, actually. And you can use our promo code Campus2Canton for a, or sorry, I think they're C2C. Their promo code C2C. Promo code C2C. For initial deposit match up to $250. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did go 3 for 3 last week. I promised I would, so keep my promises. Colin, why don't you lead us off here on some plays that you like on Underdog this week?
Well, like we were teasing a little bit earlier, Kenyon Sadiq higher 2.5 receptions. I think this is a get right game for him. We're going to see a little bit of a bounce back here. I think Iowa's defense is tough. It is. But I don't think it's going to scare me off of playing Sadiq this week. I mean, he has like the potential to have a monster game pretty much any given week. But I think with this week, going up against Iowa in kind of like a must-win game-ish for I mean, it's definitely a must-win game there for Oregon, but like kind of like a get-right game for Oregon in general. And he's been getting good targets. The last week he only had 2, but 4, 4, 8, and 7 in the games before that. So I think Sadiq has a bounce back here. I was also kind of considering some Decorian Moore lines as well, because I think he's going to have a good game. Like I think they just need to consolidate those targets between those two, to be honest there. But the next one I have on the list, Brennan Thompson, higher 62.5 receiving yards. He's been good. The last 3 games, he's been over this number: 107, 76, and 155 yards. He's getting a lot of targets the last couple games as well, 9, 11, 12. Game script, I think, is going to work in his favor here. And Georgia's secondary, we've seen it be susceptible all year long. So I like Brennan Thompson higher than 62.5. And then the last one, Damon Williams, higher than 239.5 passing yards. I mean, I think this really comes down to, one, they play Wisconsin, who is just like, I think they're kind of on quit watch. I think they've kind of given up. But 2, Damon Williams goes over this pretty much every single game this year, except for the Ohio State and the Michigan game. Those 2 games, obviously very tough defenses. They kept this offense in check. Other than that, I mean, he's got a couple 400-yard games on this schedule. He's comfortably over this in most of his other games. So I feel like this number could honestly be up to closer to 250, and I would still feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, Colin. I think Damon Williams was a quarterback I was going to talk about when we were talking about he's been absolutely amazing this year. He's one of those players I think we have absolutely nailed from the recruiting side of things. So I know the graphic says this here, and I will not throw Austin under the bus. I did put higher here, but with the win talk we got from Chris and Brett earlier, I'm actually going to take the lower on Chase Roberts' 4.5 receptions. Here's the thing. I was going to go higher before that because he does get targeted a lot, 9, 8, 6, 5, 10 in the past couple games, but he actually doesn't catch the ball a lot, 2, 2, 4, and 5. And some of those he's getting about 50%, a lot of drops. Some of that I do think is also because of Bear Bachmeier still kind of trying to develop as the freshman quarterback that he is. And again, with the win and everything, I'm going to go lower on the 4.5 receptions for Chase Roberts. Bo Jackson, you know, I mentioned it earlier today when we were talking about the wide receivers for Ohio State with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. I do think that they will get the ball a lot today from Julian Sayin, but I think once Ohio State gets up on Purdue, they will start to run the ball. As Colin mentioned, the run game has been kind of okay. I really think they want to get that going as they start moving later into the year, specifically the playoff push. And Bo Jackson has been by far their best running back. It has not even been close, and I think he easily gets a touchdown today. And then Baron Morton, look, BYU has been in these games, despite them not necessarily being a good team. They have battled with the top teams here in the Big 12, and I think that they will make this a game. I think Baron Morton goes over 2 touchdowns today. When he's been playing, he has been good outside of injury, so I'm all in on Baron Morton going over 1.5 touchdowns today with a higher.
I don't want to disagree with you all. I think you all are very smart, so I don't want to push back. But I will say,
I'll push back.
I think it's unfair to say that Wisconsin has quit, because I don't think Wisconsin's quit. I just think their roster sucks. It does concern me a little bit with the Washington offense today, and I didn't bring that up earlier, and I probably should have. I could see Washington struggling here. Just like, I don't think it's a likely outcome, but it is an outcome that I think is more realistic than not. So just throwing that into the universe. Sorry, Colin. Colin's really getting the short end of the stick tonight, unfortunately.
It's all right.
I'm
used to it.
Yeah. Let's go with to start, Diego Pavia higher than 206.5 pass yards. I think the way to attack this Auburn defense is through the air. They've allowed this quite a bit to like some bad passers. Like they did it to Missouri. They did it to now I can't even remember the other one, but they've done it pretty consistently. And I think Vandy is going to they're favored by 6.5. I don't know that they're just going to run the whole game. Like, I think they want to keep Pavia kind of healthy, and I think the way to do that is have him draft back maybe a little bit more than just trying to bulldoze people. So I like the higher 206.5. Garrett Nussmeier, this was not brought up either, and I'll talk about it a little bit here. Garrett Nussmeier, lower than 32.5 pass attempts. There was news out of LSU this week that they want to get Van Buren more snaps. I think it's like a health thing with Nussmeier. Like, he just hasn't been healthy all year. He suffered a pretty good injury in training camp and just never seems to have recovered. I I don't know that he's going to play this full game. Like, I think he might get taken out a little bit more than he would otherwise. And I know that they're double-digit dogs, which makes this lower kind of risky. I don't know. They talked a lot about playing Van Buren this week, so it just makes me not really want to target the LSU offense, period. Especially, like, I think the way to play it is then saying, okay, well, we just don't think Dustin Ryer's going to have the same opportunity he's been having. So he's around 32 attempts anyway. If I think he's going to play fewer snaps, then like I think you go lower here.
Hey, real quick, Chris,
yeah.
real quick. That's actually jumped up to 34.5 pass attempts in this game.
Great. Even better. Even better. Looks kind of stupid now, but I really do think that they're going to play some Van Buren. I've heard it a couple times this week. It wasn't just the interview. Like this is real rumblings that we see some MVP. He's the future of the program, I think.
I think they're going to try that. I don't know how.
I think it'll depend on the coach they bring in. I think that's the thing. I do like MVP though. I think he's a solid college quarterback.
I mean, he was okay statistically in an environment where they just passed the ball a bajillion times a game in an offense that passes the ball a bajillion times a game and is very quarterback friendly. I never really understood the LSU move for him outside of just, better program. Give it a shot.
I think he's probably making more money as the back of it.
Well, that too.
Something I was thinking about last night. Good for Preston Stone going to Northwestern, getting that Northwestern degree. Smart move on his part.
SMU's a good school too, right?
I think so.
I don't think it's a bad school, but it's not Northwestern.
Oh, sure. It's the opposite of what Mike Wright or whatever that started. It was like at Vanderbilt, and now he's like at like Mississippi State or like some terrible school. I forget where he is now. At least it's not Liberty. Brett says Surratt's warming up. So
yeah, I think Surratt's going to play. For what it's worth. I have one more. Nebraska running back Emmett Johnson higher than 105.5 rush yards. I don't think UCLA's run defense is any good, and I don't think they're going to pass it at all. Why would you pass it? I mean, this TJ Latleaf kid cannot play. He's terrible. Like I mean, you see some backups come in, and you're like, oh, this is a clear downgrade. Like Latleaf is like a touchdown downgrade from Rayola. He was terrible. I don't know anything about him in the recruiting process, so maybe like I'm being harsh on his first start, like being thrown in there.
I mean, like probably yes, but like also no.
I don't know how y'all graded him. I don't think he made our freshman guy, which we have like 50 quarterbacks in.
Very poorly.
Yeah, I don't think he's any good. So I think Emmett Johnson is going to have a lot of opportunity tonight. And I wanted to take the higher on his rush attempts, which is like 21.5-ish, but it feels kind of high, and he gets usage in the receiving game. So I think this is the better way to attack it.
And Latif will probably get some rushing usage too.
I mean, you're going to have
some
to.
Backs. Like, I really don't like what I saw from Nebraska.
Yeah, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble at the end of the season here, but backup QBs, man, am I right? Speaking of backup QBs, Scotty Fox, the starting QB for West Virginia.
Scotty Ducati.
And I like him. Shut up. And I like him. I like him higher than 42.5 rush yards today. I think they finally were comfortable enough unleashing him last week. I don't fear this Colorado defense at all. I think this will be I want to say like a hugely high scoring game, but I definitely think there'll be some scoring in this one. I think, he'll be running around a little bit. I think 42.5 is definitely doable for him.
Can I ask you a question on that one? And the answer might just be, it doesn't matter at all. Like, why are we getting so far into the weeds on this?
Oh, it matters.
Jordan Seaton's out for Colorado.
Both tackles are out for Colorado.
Their tackles
so now they're down 2 tackles. Like, is it going to be a high scoring game? That's kind of the question that I want to pose. It probably doesn't matter for this number specifically, but
West Virginia's just bad defensively, man. Like, I don't know. Like, they're not like dumpster fire, but they're not a strong defense. I still think they're going to give up points. I think, especially through the air, I think you can pass on them a little bit. So, which is what Colorado's going to have to do. It's what they do every week. But I did see that both the tackles are out for Colorado. So, not great for Julian Lewis. If you were hoping to get like a good estimation of where he's at right now, I don't know that you're going to get that today. The other two, because I am usually the pessimist of the group, I got some lowers here for you guys. Nick Singleton lower than 37.5 rush yards. There's just like no volume here. Like on what kind of volume is he supposed to get to 37.5 yards against this Indiana defense? They got a pretty good line.
You only gonna get like 15 carries.
Well, considering he's only done that once this year, and I think if you combine the last 3 weeks, he barely gets there. Yeah, it's just the usage has been like that. He's catching some passes, but it's just they keep gifting us this line every week. I'll just keep taking the lower until they take it away from me. And then I also am going to take the LJ Martin lower for a couple of reasons that we'd already kind of discussed. You know, the wind might end up making them rush a little more than they would have otherwise, but I think that there's going to be some game script issues here. I think the D line for Texas Tech is really, really good. You know, people have been talking about it all week. It might be the best one in college football. And the shoulder, you know, I just don't know where that's at right now either. So I think all those things lead me to lower than 7.5 rush yards for LJ Martin. So, all right. I think that's it for Underdog. Chris, do you have some betting picks for us this week?
I don't know. I'll give you one.
Please.
It's been a very, very rocky couple weeks. I think we're getting CLV. It just doesn't seem to be mattering at all. Which, whatever. Ole Miss Citadel, first quarter, over 13.5 total. Basically, I'm saying I think Ole Miss scores twice. And the reason that I'm not taking the spread, which is 10.5, is like the what if scenario. Like I feel most confident in this Ole Miss offense scoring points. So if I feel most confident in that, then like the way to attack it, I think, is the total. And I could not get a first quarter team total for Ole Miss, or else I would have played that instead. So I think 13.5, you ride it. And I also think the 27 first half is fine too. I don't think Lane Kiffin has any desire to slow the game down in the first half, at least. Maybe second half, we're having a different conversation, but I like Ole Miss first quarter over 13.5. I think that's on bet 365. Yes, it is. I also like Temple today to at least cover 7. Temple's my team. Just think Evan Simon's been playing good football.
Yeah, he's been shockingly good this year. I don't know who put this on here. It says one player to watch this weekend. Please keep your player to 2 minutes or less. That last part sounds like a me thing, but I didn't put that on there. So
it was me. I mean, since we're doing this, I was going to do graphics, but then nobody else filled it out. So then I just,
okay.
Well, we used to do it. I was, trying to bring back some of the fun that we used to have. But yeah, I'll go mine. Mine's Matt Zollers. I think again, it will be a tough matchup again for him against Texas A&M today. But I thought he played fairly well coming in. For an injured Bo Prabula. I'm excited to see what he can possibly do against a very good defense. I do think he's the future of the Missouri program. So that's one player that I'll be watching today.
Do you think, by the way, real quick, do you think that he just takes this job if he's at all decent?
I do, yes.
Like moving forward, yeah.
I do. I think, again, I don't think he was, for a guy who didn't play much last year because of the injury and came in, I don't think any of us expected him to play because of the knee injury. For him to go, yeah. I mean, for him to go out there and I think look decent in that offense, I think if he goes out there and has a good end to the season, he will be the starter going into next year. Look, Prabula was great, but just could not pass the ball. And Zollers is a much better passer.
Colin?
Yeah, the player that I'm watching this week is Matt Zollers, future Penn State quarterback, Matt Zollers.
Oh, they're finally, that's the player to be named later. They're finally going to send back the other way. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, exactly. I'm trying to speak it into existence. We're going to get Drinkowitz. We're going to bring Zollers back to PA. No, I only put Matt Zollers
to ruin another great quarterback. Sorry.
Hey, whole different system, whole different regime. You got to throw all that out the window. We bring Drink.
How many times does Penn State get to restart this century? Just asking questions.
This century? I mean, there'll be 2 times.
Whole different regime. It's not the same as it was in the past. Hear that a lot out of Happy Valley.
Yeah, just twice. Not a big deal. Once was more significant than the other.
Which time
was? I will let you decide which time.
Okay.
Is more important there. No, I'm not necessarily watching one specific player here, but it's the wide receivers
at segment. But
it's the wide receivers at Auburn. Hugh Freeze is out. What's that quarterback situation going to look like? It sounds like it's going to be Daniels, but I want to keep an eye on those receivers there: Perry Thompson, Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons, and see what that is going to look like for the future and how they do against this Vanderbilt team.
I'm
Chris,
excited
we'll
to
have
see
time to go to you. Austin, real quick, yours, and so Colin just ate into Chris's time.
I just need Dante Moore. I just want to see some bounce back here.
All right, Chris, he gave you 45 extra seconds. Go.
I'm excited to see future Texas A&M wide receiver Cam Coleman too this week. I think that was a good shout. There's a lot of directions I think you can go with this question, because there's a lot of big matchups. I think it's Dante Moore. I think we really need to see what the Oregon offense does with Dante Moore after having some poor weeks in a row, I feel. And I think it's a tough ask to go into Iowa and ask them to cover a 7-point spread, but I think they do this week. I think Dante Moore is going to be a really critical part of the playoff picture moving forward, and it has to start today.
All right. Well, good stuff there, guys. We are going to hop into our Devy segment. We'll take a really short break after that, and then we'll get into injury watch, and we'll pick some of the bigger games here for the day. So we'll see you guys on the other side of the break. Take it away, Mike.
Welcome, Devy family. It's Mike Valor here. Week 11 coming up. Playoff picture is getting more and more clear. It's time for big-time players to make some big-time plays. Let's go. Starting off the quarterback position, we have Matt Zollers, Missouri quarterback, true freshman starting. Came in last week to fill in, 14 for 24, 138 and 1. Had a little bit of a fumbling issue, 7 carries, 3 fumbles on the year, but I love my approachable size quarterback, 6'4", 215, and he has wheels. He has mobility here. So far, Missouri has not really opened up the playbook too much. It's been a lot of short area passes, not too much stuff downfield, but I want to see a different playbook from Matt Zollers, and this is a big game. It's number 22 Missouri versus number 8 Texas A&M. Let's see Matt Zollers show us some flashes, show us the future Missouri football. Let's get excited about another fantastic name to the true freshman quarterback class. Heading over to Kentucky, talking about another true freshman here. Let's talk about DJ Miller versus Florida this week. 8 for 136 and 2 over the last 3 weeks. He's 2 for 3 at contested catch targets. We don't have a glowing athletic measurements for him, but honestly, when you watch him on tape, this dude gets up. He gets up for the ball. He catches it. He's a threat as a yak player too. Shows some nice make the guy miss in the open field type situation stuff. I actually like DJ Miller a lot as a future asset. He's a stash piece for me right now, and I think you should get him while you can before his name gets too hot. Check out DJ Miller. See how he plays against Florida today. It's always a good game when Kentucky and Florida play each other. Two top teams in the SEC. You know how it is for Kentucky. Go Cats. Jadarian Price versus Navy. Look, bounce back week. 9 for 12 against Boston College last week. One of the better space backs, but also has some nice downfield running behind the line of scrimmage as well. I think this guy puts miss and miss tackles forced. It's a stat that's either, is contact bounds or is actually making guys miss. I think Price actually make a guy miss in the open field. Navy, who has the largest air power in the entire world, is going to force the ground game. So let's see Notre Dame rely on Jordan Love and Jadarian Price. So we already know Love is good. Let's see if Jadarian Price can rehash some of that draft capital. A favorite sleeper for a lot of us here at C2C for the upcoming draft. Heading over to the wide receiver position, let's go over to a duo at Clemson versus FSU today. FSU, who's had some struggles, so should be a good game. Wesco is out. Obviously, we saw Antonii Williams and TJ Moore step up in a big way last week, but I'm starting to have a little bit of doubts about TJ Moore. The manufactured touches are great. I love them. I love that they want to give their athletes the ball and they put them in situations where they can succeed, and just watching him play is awesome. We know he's a great athlete. He's a .865 in our star index on the website, but I want to see the refinements in his routes. I want to be able to separate in his routes at the stem. I want to see a little bit more of him come into a more refined role, because I get a little bit nervous about this guy's going to transfer up. But he is a sophomore, plenty of time to get that fixed. Now, heading back over to Missouri versus Texas A&M. Casey Concepcion, gadget player from NC State, transferred over to Texas A&M, and now we're seeing a multifaceted role. Now, I'm not buying, I'm not fully in, but I love seeing a guy show us more tools in his tool belt, sheds that gadget-only type role that he had from NC State. He looks like a more well-rounded piece. We'll check him out. I think he should also be back in consideration for the NFL draft. I know I'm probably the only one that didn't think he was really that great, but I'm now with the people. Let's see what he can do. Speaking of upcoming names, let's over to Chris Bell, Louisville versus Cal today. Old reliable, only 2 drops in the entire season. Has been a little bit slowed down the last 2 weeks, but this guy is an athletic beast. Some people are comparing him to A.J. Brown. I think he's more of the John Domingo to Xavier Leggett type. I like my guys. Again, as I talked about earlier, I want to see separation from the routes, but this guy at the catch point is a monster. And if he gets a little bit of runway, then he's going to. He is a nice build of speed as well. So go ahead and check out Chris Bell. And if your name is Felix Sharp, I'm seeing right now tickets as low as $8. Go ahead and watch that game live. Just go there. 2 quick names that aren't going to play this week, but I just can't help myself because it's just the end of the season. I get real excited about player evaluation. So I just want to give 2 quick shout outs from last week's performers. Wayshawn Parker, 10 for 145 against Colorado. Speaking of Colorado, do you guys think they're going to retire Caden Salter's jersey? I hope so, because that's the clown show they're putting on over there. 17 for 104 against Cincinnati. 11 missed tackles forced in that performance. 16 over the last 2 weeks. It is finally time for Wayshawn Parker. He won't be playing this week. Catch him next week. And another player that won't be playing this week, you can catch next week, Emmett Mosley, Stanford wide receiver, transfer for Texas. 7 for 10, 69 yards, and a touchdown, along with a big play that drew defensive pass interference. I think Emmett Mosley is becoming the reliable chain mover I thought he would be for Texas. And I can't wait to see how his season ends. Quick parting shot here. Let's talk a little bit about Penn State. Just a quick thought for the audience. Mel Kiper for head coach? Maybe. Some people think he knows ball, so why not go to Penn State? And another quick thought for the audience here. Ultra athletic Nick Singleton, running back. Will he get his first 20-yard rush of the season? Probably not. But from Mike Valley, I appreciate you guys joining me for this Debbie session. Catch you guys during the week.
We're back for one more time here on the Tailgate, brought to you by campus2canton.com. I'm not gonna lie, my finger was hovering over the stop play button on Mike when he said let's talk about Penn State at the end there, but pleasantly surprised he restrained himself. So thank you, Mike, for doing the Debbie session for us this week.
Is that not apt with the rest of the show here? It's just Colin taking shots all morning long. Wasn't planned either. Mike just knew it was gonna happen.
It's always planned. Everybody takes shots.
Makes me think that maybe this was a predetermined thing, and oh man, it's doesn't look good for us. Doesn't look good for us. We all called each other last night to discuss this. Some injury roundup stuff, guys. Just real quick, we'll touch on this, and then we'll pick our games here for the day. We already mentioned the 2 tackles for Colorado. Not that you were playing into the running game at all, but could hurt the passing game as well. Devin Mockabee is done. I just saw him on the injury list this morning, and I thought that was a great way for them to phrase that earlier this week. But yeah, he's not playing for Purdue. He's done for the season. Elijah Surratt not going through passing drills. Hoosier Huddle says that it does not look like he's going to play. Chris,
wow.
Any comment?
That was as of 10 minutes ago.
I'm a little surprised I didn't realize he was that banged up. That sucks.
For what it's worth, they were also the ones who reported he was going through warm-ups, and then they just said he's not going through the passing drills. So
interesting.
He's got his little joggers on. Is that what the deal is?
One of the 24/7 guys that covers Indiana also said Elijah Surratt doesn't look like he's going to play. Headed back to the locker room during warm-ups. So
that's nice. Yeah, obviously not startable, but I think Omar Cooper props. If they're still up.
It was
Go play
58.5. Go find it.
Yeah.
I will say the Devin Mockabee report was very funny.
It was.
Just the way it was phrased.
It's
It was like,
hilarious way to put that.
Devin Mockabee is finished. It's just like, geez, dude. He like tore his ACL or something. Like, relax.
And then Ayo Adie is out for James Madison. So Wayne Knight, that's going to give him probably a boost this week as well. So that's what we had to report here this morning. I don't know that there were any other guys that we were really monitoring.
Not necessarily monitoring, but this could affect maybe some of the game here. Ohio State will be without their right tackle and right guard, actually, for this game against Purdue. Not that Purdue's defensive line is super scary, but that could affect possibly the run game, as Colin mentioned earlier. Not great. Could affect, how Bo Jackson and that run game looks in this game later.
And Bozo asks, Keyshawn Brown and Carnell Tate or Barkate and D-Bell.
D-Bell. Is that Dylan Bell?
Is this a trade?
I mean,
that's what we need more info.
I'm not sure I understand the question. If the answer is like, who do I play? It's Tate and Barkate. If the answer is who do the trade side, it's the Tate side. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Anytime you're getting Dylan Bell in a trade, don't.
Could be Dia-Bell, but
Draft
there's
games,
some
he
leaks
said.
that.
I don't know the pricing. I'm out of I'm out of that world.
I would probably still say Brown and Tate though, if those are your options. If you're looking for a duo to play this week, Brown and Tate over Barkate and Dylan Bell. Again, anytime you're considering Dylan Bell, don't.
Yeah, I agree with Colin. Don't. Yes.
Sorry,
Corey.
Yeah, I mean, I think even he's given into it by now. All right, let's pick our games here for the day. I had these nice lower thirds, and then
you can. We'll sit up. Sit up, Chris.
Sit up.
Sit up.
I'm not that tall.
All right. BYU Texas Tech is the first one up here. Texas Tech 11.5-point favorites. And we'll just go around in a circle. We'll just go, Colin, Matt, Chris for all these. So go ahead, guys.
Give me BYU in this one. I think this is going to be a close game, especially with the weather being a factor there. I don't think it'll be super high scoring. I think that'll kind of limit Texas Tech's explosiveness on offense. So especially the fact that it's 11.5, give me BYU, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if BYU pulls a little upset here. But give me BYU.
This one was hard, but I'm going to take BYU as well. Again, I mentioned earlier, they've just been able to hang in these games despite this team not necessarily being as good. And BYU actually does have one of the most efficient red zone offenses. Despite how good Texas Tech's defense is, I do think BYU will be able to keep this game close. So 11.5 is a lot of points. I'm going to take BYU. I think they can keep it within a touchdown.
If you guys liked 11.5, you're going to love 13.5 where it's currently at.
Oh, okay. We pulled these last night, I believe. So we usually pull them later.
I pulled this. I don't usually pull them, but I pulled them this morning.
Oh, this morning.
Okay. I pulled this 30 minutes before the show. So in the last 2 hours, it's gone all the way up to 13.5.
Right. We'll stick with the 11.5 just because that's what we all picked on. But yeah, I mean, that's interesting. So,
So 11.5, I think I would have taken BYU or Texas Tech. I think I'm going to take BYU here, though. We're at the point where it's just too many points.
Well, I mean, we're still picking the 11.5 in terms of for the record.
Do it, Chris. It's okay.
Come on,
no,
Chris.
I'll go Texas Tech. I'll go Texas Tech.
Yeah, we're the devils on your shoulder there telling just do it. Just do it. I'm taking Texas Tech as well. And that line movement makes me feel a little bit better about that. Texas A&M, 6.5-point favorites against Missouri this week. 22 Missouri, probably not 22 much longer after losing all their QBs. Colin.
We highlighted Matt Zollers as a player to watch in this one, and I do think he's a player to watch here, but I think Texas A&M is just kind of flat out a better team. Missouri, a little bit fraudulent. They haven't really beaten anybody that great this year. So especially inside of a touchdown, give me Texas A&M.
Yeah, as much as I would love for Matt Zollers to be able to look as good as he did against Vanderbilt, I think we got proven last week that Vanderbilt a little bit of frauds here. I know Texas A&M's defense has given up some points here in the past couple weeks, but I do think they'll be able to apply the pressure here on Matt Zollers, and as well as Marcel Reed has played, I expect Texas A&M to win this by at least 10 points, so I'm going to take the Aggies.
I like A&M here. I'm not quite as confident as you all seem to be on this. I think it's pretty close. I think it's probably the correct line. I think there's a real chance that Marcel Reed struggles this game because I think some of this pass rush can get home. So I'm going to take Texas A&M, but don't feel that confident. I think the answer here is the under if we're going to pick something.
I'm taking A&M. I do think A&M is it's hard to say because like they have like on paper some decent wins, but I do think they're a little I don't want to say fraudulent, just thought a little too highly of based on some of the matchups that they've had this year. But I do think with Missouri, I don't know what to expect out of a true freshman QB with his first start against a Texas A&M team like this. That's a big ask for anybody. Pretty good pass rush there for A&M. So yeah, I'm going to take them. But yeah, I don't think it's like a was it Colin last week that was using the phrase blow the doors off? Oh, also, what game were you talking about with that? Was it the USC game? Because it ended up finishing like right at what the line was.
It was the USC game. Yeah.
Okay.
I did finish right where the line was.
That. Yeah.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Jaden Mayava pooped his pants. That's fine. It's all right.
Blow the doors off.
Yeah, they would have lost by a lot too if Rayola didn't get hurt. That was shaping up to be a beatdown the opposite direction.
You got to love how honest Colin is, too, because if you'd asked me that question, I'd be like, no, it would have been gone to the highest scoring game of the week. I'm like, I was talking about that game, and look at what happened, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Nobody would have fact-checked me on that. Nobody's going to go back and pull that.
I picked A&M in this, by the way. And we did get confirmation that Colin took Middlebrooks in round 25 of that startup that we were mentioning earlier. So
okay,
Colin, a little earlier than I thought I did, but
not bad. All right, next up here, Oregon versus Iowa. Oregon, likewise, is 6.5 point favorites. Colin.
This line actually, I have DraftKings up right now. This line actually moved to 5.5. I mean, we'll keep it at 6.5 here, but it makes me feel.
Well, no, the 5.5 actually benefits me. So let's go with the 5.5.
I mean, it benefits me too because I'm taking Oregon. I think Oregon wins by a touchdown here. I think this is kind of like I said, a little bit of a reminder of how good Oregon is. Everybody's kind of been ignoring them a little bit ever since that loss to Indiana. And I think this is a spot where they come out and they remind everybody how good this team is. I'm going to take it at Oregon, especially at 5.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oregon as well. I know there's been a lot of talk about them going to Iowa and how the games have gone lately for Oregon, but I think both Austin and Chris mentioned this earlier. Like most of Dante Moore's struggles have come like in some games with weird weather outside of that Indiana game. And I don't think he was as bad as it's been made out to be. Iowa definitely has a tough defense. It's not easy to go into Kinnick Stadium and win. But I do think, as Colin just mentioned, we kind of get a reminder of how good Oregon is in this game. And maybe that Iowa is a little bit fraudulent because I don't think they've beaten anybody worth anything on their schedule either. I'm going with Oregon.
I love fraudulent is always the most popular word on the show every week. Like
it is.
We're running out of teams in the country that like aren't frauds at this point.
We really are. We are.
I don't know that Iowa is a fraud, but I do think that they are like 8 points worse than Oregon. So even at home, I like the Ducks to kind of right the ship. It was a poor showing against Wisconsin, but I mean, I think that's what it is. They still won. To the foot off the gas, probably looking forward a little bit to the rest of the schedule, knowing that like it's Wisconsin. So yeah, I think the Ducks get it done here. I just don't trust the Iowa offense.
I also have Oregon. Auburn against 16 Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's 6-point favorite. Colin, we have 3 minutes left, so you know.
You just help me keep it quick. I'm gonna go with Vanderbilt here. I still think that even with Hugh Freeze out, this offense for Auburn is going to struggle. It's something I'm keeping an eye on, but I just think Vanderbilt's a better team. Inside a touchdown, give me Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with this one. I'll go Vanderbilt. I don't feel great about it because Auburn's defense, I think, could slow down Pavia and the Commodores' offense and keep this to less than 6. Was it 6.5? Right. But Ashton Daniels is just so bad. So I don't know what to think. I'm gonna take Vanderbilt, but I don't feel good about it at all.
I am going to take Auburn. I think the defense is good enough. I think you can contain Pavia. I don't think Vandy's going to try to do tricks on it. I think the defense, Auburn's defense is the best unit in the game. So I'm backing them.
I'm with Chris. I actually think Auburn could win this game today. Kind of praying it happens. Make Hugh Freeze look worse.
We know.
It would be fun. It's not an anti-Vanderbilt take. It's actually an anti-Hugh Freeze take.
I figured it was an anti-both take.
I guess you can just mash them up. Yeah, wherever it comes from. That's what we're feeling today. And then Indiana, 14.5-point favorites against Penn State.
Why is this on the sheet here? I refuse to pick this. I abstain.
I did not do this for the record. I think it was probably
I abstain.
Matthew Brunings.
It was not me, but I will take Indiana. I think Penn State fraudulent. I know that this is Indiana.
They're not fraudulent. Nobody's saying they're good.
I know Indiana's going in to Happy Valley, giving them a chance to win there for the first time in a long time. But I just think Indiana is one of the best teams in the nation. I know Penn State kind of shocked Ohio State a little bit last week, at least in the first quarter. They pulled away. Give me Indiana. I think they win this by 21. First half, whatever.
Thank you.
I like Penn State here. I said why earlier. I just think that they have the athletes to hold up.
They got the athletes, but do they have? I mean, have they not quit? I mean,
the will to live. I
think they've quit. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this week's show, guys. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Good luck in all your matchups this week. Matt, are you on?
I am.
Are you around tonight? You and me?
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we got plans, picnics, but yeah, we'll be there tonight.
All right, we'll see you guys tonight on College Fantasy tonight. Have a good one.